In 1973, the Buchla music easel was designed to encourage electronic sound exploration. Getting lost in the never-ending sonic possibilities of the knobs, sliders, and switches and patch points was the purpose. Finding new, expressive sounds and ideas was valued over representing existing ones. But the program interface offered a different path, one of repeatability and fixed intent. It was one of the earliest forms of a synthesizer preset. We now have the Program Manager card for the Buchla Music Easel series. The card gives you instant recall of up to 48 presets, a USB connection to your Mac or Windows computer, and gives you complete control and patch design on the easel. The first thing you'll need to know is how to install it to get up and running quickly. This nice postcard that came in the box gives us the basics. Turn off power. Insert the card in the program interface slot. Do not insert it backwards, as this could damage the card. Double check that the LCD screen is facing you and the USB connector is on the left. Now power up your easel and switch the control to remote. Now you're ready to start playing presets. I have a MIDI controller plugged into the easel's USB host so I can start playing sounds and try out different presets that are on the card. Connect the USB-C cable to your computer. If your computer doesn't have a USB-C port, there's lots of options to convert one end of the C cable to an A-type plug, or you can get one of those cables that has an A on one end and C on the other. Because you are in remote mode, all controls on the easel are dictated by the preset. If you want to combine your preset with the front panel controls, you can use both mode. We'll cover that later in this video. Now you are ready for the fascinating world of precision computer control. Download the Program Manager application from our website and install it. Launch the program. If you've connected everything right, you'll see the connected status in the top of the interface. You don't have to plug the USB connection in before you launch the app. It will recognize the card if you plug it in afterwards. Once connected, you can immediately start controlling your easel from the application UI, like so. You can try loading some of the presets that are in the app, and the changes are instantly sent to the easel for play. Because of this, the Preset Manager application can act as a source of almost infinite presets. It's worth knowing that if you cut power to the easel, these changes aren't going to be remembered on the card. You'll need to write the change to a preset slot. If you like a preset you've loaded or made in the application, you can write it to the card. Just press Save Program to Card, and you'll be prompted for one of 48 slots to save in. You'll need to know ahead of time what you want to replace or overwrite on the card because there's no warning. Now that the preset is on the card, it's easy to load using the buttons on the Program Manager, and once it's recalled, it's immediately available to play. Presets in the Program Manager application are stored to a database. They're not available as individual files, so import and export are really the only way to get files in and out of the application. We can use the export feature to create a preset file that we can share with another person, transfer to another computer, or put it on the web for download. Just click Export, and you'll be prompted for a location to save the file. If someone shares a preset with you, you'll want to use the Import feature. Click Import, select the file, and the easel will be immediately modified with the new settings. As before, this doesn't save it to the card. You'll need to take care of that yourself. The preset uses the name of the imported preset. If you want to change the name of the preset, you can just type a new name and save it. In this case, I want to save as new and create a different preset slot altogether. The application sends out high-resolution messages that you may want to fine-tune. Click on a slider handle, and you can use your up and down arrow keys to increment the sliders by 1. You probably can't even see it move, but you will hear the difference. This is quite valuable on the modulator frequency, for example, as you can really dial in some precise sidebands. Let's take a look at the depth panel, where things get extra interesting. As you make connections in the app with virtual banana cables, you'll notice that they are different colors. When you open up the depth panel, you find your color, and you can change the depth. This also has the effect of letting you control the modulation amount on the easel in places where there are no modulation amount sliders, such as the attack, sustain, and decay. Here I'm using the modulation oscillator to modulate the amplitude of the complex oscillator, and this is using the normal controls on the front panel. I can use this connection to modulate the pitch of the oscillator with the same modulation, but I can use the depth to invert it and change the amount. As you can see, this adds a really interesting wrinkle to the easel that you just can't get without the Program Manager card. While you can load individual presets into slots on the card, the bank panel gives you a holistic interface for creating a complete bank. Here's how it works. First, go to the Banks panel and load a bank into the software. You'll get the complete bank matrix view when it is loaded. Unlike a preset, loading a bank doesn't automatically affect the easel. Until you explicitly save to the card, all changes are happening in the software application. In this view, you can reorganize the presets by clicking on the arrows. You can write individual presets from the loaded bank into slots using the orange upload icon. Delete a preset with the black X icon. Worth knowing, like a VST plugin, there is no undo. Also worth knowing, you can always reload the bank from where you started. Once you've made some changes to the bank, you can save the bank or save as new. At any time, you can rename your bank. Just type in a new name here. If you just save the bank, it will rename the bank as you see on the right. If you save as new, it will create an additional bank on the right with whatever name is in the field. No big deal, just change the name and save. At this point, you're probably wondering how to actually add presets to the bank. It's really simple. Once you have opened a bank in the application, head to the Programs panel. You'll see the plus and minus buttons on each preset. Click on a plus button and it will be added to the bank at the first empty slot. For example, notice that in this bank I have a couple slots here open. When I click on the plus sign for these presets, those will be added to slots 3 and 4 respectively. You can also use the minus button in the presets panel to delete any presets that are in the current bank. Once you have finished, save the bank and send it to the card. You'll be given a prompt to decide if you want to overwrite banks on the card with blanks in this bank. Each individual preset will be sent to the card. This takes a little bit of time and counts from the top, but soon it will be finished. Let's take a look at Both Mode. Both Mode is a feature of the Easel command and the soon-to-be released Music Easel. Older BEMI music easels can be modified to benefit from this, but that is out of the scope of this video. When in remote mode, the card is controlling all of the sound engine, so any changes to the front panel hardware are ignored. When switched to Both Mode, we can now use the sliders to modify the sound from the preset. Any changes made to the front panel are additive. For example, if the preset has the timbre halfway up, when I use the timbre in Both Mode, the slider increases up to the maximum, but it won't go below the value set in the preset. If you are making a preset that you'll use in Both Mode, it's a good idea to design around this additive idea. For example, if you want full control of the envelope, put all the sliders at the bottom in the preset so when you are in Both Mode, you have full range over attack, sustain, and delay. Another thing to know about Both Mode is that, unlike the sliders and knobs, the switches will be set to the values you see on the front panel, not the values of the preset. So for example, if the preset has the oscillator as a triangle wave, but the front panel has it set to square wave, when you switch to Both Mode, you will hear the square wave. But what about patch chords in Both Mode? In remote mode, your virtual patch chords are in control and any front panel patches are ignored. In Both Mode, your virtual patches are all active and you can patch on the front panel. Switching to Both Mode here, the sequencer and envelope are still going, but I can add a patch and then add to the sequence, like so. And one final detail. You'll notice that when you go from local to Both Mode with the card in, it reads local plus mode. This means that the connections to the card are turned on, but the patch is not initiated. This is for people with card doublers, so that it allows for other cards to use the signals to the card slot without actually initiating the patch on the Program Manager card. I hope you've made it through this video and gotten all the information you need. There's a lot to learn, but the more you use it, the more you get out of it. The Program Manager card is a great addition to the Easel and gives you a lot more room to explore different sounds and different techniques.